And she is going to tell us a story about drawing near to wonder. And this is a story that has never been told before, so listen closely. Come on up.
I'm too excited to sit down, so I'm going to stand and do this. Christmas, 1971. It was a cold, wintry, snowy Christmas, as it always was in Wisconsin. And I was looking forward to all of the Christmas activities that we always had every year very much. But this Christmas, I knew it was going to be different. So, winter in Wisconsin, where I grew up, was an awesome thing. For one thing, it snowed a lot. When I was young, the snow was sometimes as tall as I was. And I was really lucky because I had two brothers who, during the normal course of the year, wouldn't really even have anything to do with me. One was 3 years older and one was 2 years younger. But during the winter, in the snowy Wisconsin weather, we really had a lot of fun. And we lived in a great neighborhood where we could go out our back door, and out our back door was this wonderful, wide open expanse of, we called it a park strip. It was about 2 football fields long, and it had a big hill. So we would go out every day from maybe when I was about 5 years old until I was much older and go sledding and tobogganing, and we even sometimes skied on our boots, rubber boots. We did ski as well. We would spend all day, pretty much all day Saturdays or Sundays, except when we went out the front door. Out the front door and down about a block, there was a baseball diamond that our neighbor, Alan Hansen, who I think was an Eagle Scout and did this for Eagle Scouting, he hosed down the baseball diamond every day and turned it into a big ice skating pond. So after school, every day, from when I was really little and all the way through high school, we would put our skates on, race down to the skating rink, and skate for many hours. And my brothers and I would do these things together. So those were really fond memories. I also had a lot of fond memories about the Christmas holidays, and we had a lot of traditions that I just loved in my family. So decorating the house, that was really fun. I would go with my father. For some reason, it was just he and I, and we'd pick out a tree. And our tree was one of those short needle pines, and we'd have to buy it and bring it home on the top of our station wagon. And we would have to put it in the stand and wait about a day before we could decorate it, so the boughs would come down. And then we would decorate every square inch of that tree. I thought it was such a thing of beauty and wonder, especially when we threw tinsel on it, which is like little pieces of tinfoil. And I don't know why, but my mother let us throw the tinsel on. And I look forward to that every year. So besides the tinsel, we also made Christmas cookies, like I'm sure your family did. But my favorite Christmas tradition regarding Christmas preparation was our Christmas village. We had the best Christmas village ever, because our Christmas village was homemade. And it was as big as a whole tabletop. It had little houses that were hand-painted, even a church with lights in it and stained glass windows, little window boxes. It had a little village. It had hills with skiers and mountains and trees made of sponges painted green, I think. But the best part was a skating rink that was made with a mirror underneath a roll of, I think it was cotton batting, and my mother put ivory soap flakes on to make it look like snow. It sounds kind of lame, but it was really fantastic. And we had that Christmas village every year from when I was just a small child until well into my 40s. And I still have a few of those little Christmas figurines that my mother made of pipe cleaners and buttons. And they were very small, but there were 100 village people at least. It was awesome. So we made cookies and all those things and got Christmases ready. But in 1971, I was 19 years old, wasn't a kid anymore. I was at the University of Wisconsin. I was a sophomore. It was time to come home for Christmas break. And I was looking forward to it for sure. I was tired of studying for exams and eating that dorm food and looking forward to all the comforts of home for Christmas and the Christmas village and everything. But I knew that this Christmas was going to be different. This year it was different because my older brother David, he was 21. 6 months earlier had been drafted into the service. It was the time of the Vietnam War. He did not like guns. He did not want to go to war. He did not want to kill anybody. So he joined the Coast Guard. And in the Coast Guard, you could join them and go, but you had to go for 4 years. But he knew if he did that, he'd be on a ship somewhere and he wouldn't have to go to war. So this Christmas, my brother would not be with us. He would be out in the Great Lakes on a big old boat of some kind, cutting ice with a bunch of other guys, having no Christmas at all. And I thought that was really sad. And so did my family. So on Christmas Eve, we had our usual Christmas Eve, which was usually quite wonderful. I should just pause and say that our Christmas Eves were designed specifically to torture the children. Torture the children because at the end of our Christmas Eve, we got to open at least a couple of presents. But we had to wait a long time, and that's because the first thing we would do is have fondue. Fondue is where you put some hot oil in a pan in the middle, and you have little pieces of meat on forks, and you have to cook them one at a time, and it takes forever. And then we'd go to church, which was really beautiful, and the lights and it looked a lot like this. And then we'd go in the car and we'd drive all around town looking at all the Christmas lights, which took forever. And finally we would go home and get to open a gift or two. But this year, we did all of those things. We had our traditions. We did our fondue. But you know, it just wasn't the same putting 4 forks in the pot instead of 5. We went to church, and I was really happy for church, because church was a lot like it was as always, with the choir singing, and we lit the candles for Christmas carols, and the lights were glowing, and I felt the wonder of Christmas coming on, and I felt a little bit better. And after church, we went in the car, and no one had any energy for going and looking at Christmas lights. So we decided to just go home. But I was still in the glow of Christmas Eve service, and I was thinking to myself, I can't let Christmas go by and have it be like this. This is not Christmas. So when we finally drove into our driveway, I got this bright idea, and it was this. I said, I'm going skating. I hope you'll come with me, but if you don't want to go, I'm going to go alone. Anybody want to go? And my brother, Robbie, 17, who hardly ever talked to me at all because he was a cool teenager, he said, okay. My father then, much to my surprise, said, okay, I'll go. And then the most surprising thing of all, because my mother never really did anything for us, with us, she was usually doing Christmas preparation stuff while we were away, she said, I'll go too. So the next thing I knew, we were all putting on our skates and gathering all our gloves, and it was so fun because we actually piled into the car and drove 1 block to the skating rink that we went to all the time. And we used our car like it was a warming house and put our skates on, and I guess my mom made hot chocolate. We were the only ones there. It was about 9:30 at night. Alan Hansen must have been there because that pond was clear as ice. I mean, it was ice. Clear and glazed, fresh. The sky was clear. You could see every star in the sky. I think it was moonlit only and we had so much fun. We skated for quite a long time and went home feeling the Christmas spirit and the Christmas wonder. So now, I still love all of the Christmas traditions. My family still does most of those. But when I think back at that Christmas, when I was looking at those stars and knowing chances were really good that my brother out there in that boat was looking up at the same stars as we were on that Christmas Eve. And that was a wonder. Thank you.